Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye has friends. No, really, Jeff has friends. Jeff's friends are on this podcast. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship.
Friendship.
Welcome back to the Jeff Dye Friendship Podcast, where this podcast is about friendship. This podcast is about happiness. This podcast is about good vibes. So if you want to share with your friends some good vibes, some friendships and stuff like that, shoot them our podcast. We're 43 weeks in and we're loving it. We're having a great time. This week, our guest is Josh Macuga. You're going to get to know this guy, jack of all trades. He wants to host Jeopardy. Eventually, he knows a lot about movies. He does a lot of stuff with hosting and comedy. He's a very, very funny guy. Loves sports. He knows pretty much everything. Knows every kind of movie. The guy is awesome. You guys are going to really, really enjoy him. If you want to watch this episode, go to patreon.com/Jeff Dye. Subscribe. It's just $10 a month. You get everything, including free tickets to all of my live comedy shows and meet and greet. Surprises, treats, gifts, things like that. So go over there, or if you just want to listen on your phone for free, go to iTunes, search Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast. We're bringing friendship back in 2019, baby. Bringing friendship back, bringing happiness back. It's okay to like stuff. It's okay to be friendly. But you guys are really going to enjoy this episode because we enjoyed making it. Oh yeah. And just like that, we're in episode
43.
Who's an athlete who wore number 43?
I'll tell you who did. One of the greatest Pittsburgh Steelers of all time. I have two of his jerseys.
Oh, Troy Polamalu.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the old hair boy.
One of the greatest strong safeties in the history of the league.
Yeah, man. He was a good guy, right?
He best
related to The Rock.
Well, they're from like same island, bro.
They're all related to The Rock. I say it anytime I hear a Samoan. I go, related to The Rock, right?
Yeah. Definitely. So I'm at Steelers Jets 2004 playoffs. It was like 10 degrees below zero. It was freezing in Pittsburgh, right? Ben Roethlisberger's rookie year.
80 plus 10, too cold.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Today in LA, it feels like it's 30 below.
Yeah.
And so all the players show up, right? Bentley's, like Bettis is in a Bentley,
Nice.
Roethlisberger's in some ridiculous Mercedes, and Polamalu shows up in a Kia van with 2 car seats in the back and just parks it and walks up. Just a family man
What's
altogether.
his deal, dude?
Just loves being a family man.
They're not paying him over there?
Apparently not.
The guy play for fun.
Yeah. He's got all his money goes to his hair products.
Yeah.
Man. He's got to keep that hair luscious.
No,
Head and
that's
shoulders.
natural.
Yeah.
That's natural. The voice you're hearing, Pittsburgh's finest. So wait, before that, big shout out to Troy Polamalu.
Number 43.
Number 43
It's hard
for
for
week
us.
43.
It's hard for us to do as Seahawks fans, but we'll do it.
Yeah.
Well,
I was at that
I like
Super Bowl.
the Steelers, though.
Oh, man.
I'm a Steelers guy.
Yeah.
Bradshaw.
One
TV.
Super Bowl. You're still holding on to this.
Yeah, I was 15. It
Yeah,
meant
let
a
it
lot
go.
to me.
Stop holding on to it. Talking about Super
No,
Bowl
here's-
XL when the Steelers whipped that ass on the Seahawks.
Once we won, it all went away.
Yeah.
Now it's
Exactly.
the Patriots. Now it's
Also,
I hate the Patriots.
no
Yeah, we
disrespect, but was that the team that you really thought, Matt Hasselbeck is really going
Hasselbeck.
to bring us
I mean, yeah.
halfway through the season? We're chanting Dilfer in the stadium. we have
Yeah,
like
that
all
was a
these
few years prior,
the
but yeah.
uniforms jacky, like real jacked looking. It's not like real good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm happy with the Seahawks team that won the Super Bowl. That's
too,
the team.
me too.
I
That
like.
was a really good team.
And
Really good
I
team.
would golf with Jerome Bettis like a few weeks ago now. I guess it's
No
been like
way.
6. And he was so nice and the best.
One of my favorite Steelers of all time, man.
Such a good dude.
Polamalu, Bettis. His nickname was the Bus in college, but I always thought that I invented the bus because I called in to a radio station right when Bettis got Like when Bettis' first season. So he gets drafted by the Rams, and then we trade for him. I remember where I was when we traded for him. I was at a Dick's in Pittsburgh. They had just opened a Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh, Dick's Sporting Goods. I was going to say, I didn't know you had a Dick's in Pittsburgh, but it's different for us in Seattle. It's a burger place in Seattle. Yeah. Oh, so you're at Dick's Sporting Goods. Goods, which is like a Costco if you want to kill animals.
Correct.
I mean, like it's got everything. Everything you want.
Did you want to kill an animal with your own personalized machete? We make those.
They sell bear traps like you would see on Red Dead Redemption 2, like the whole bear trap.
And you can test it on a fake leg in the store. I swear to God.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
I was gonna buy one just as like a like home decor, like use it to keep a door propped open or something, just a whole bear trap.
That's pretty dangerous.
So I went to Jeff Dye's house. The dude's got a bear trap.
I like weird stuff like that. Like there's a parking meter right over there. I like weird stuff like that. But the problem is either A, I would lose a leg, a drunk friend would lose a leg, and or how am I flying home with that?
Right.
Like, do you have a bear trap in your luggage? Like, yeah, I bought that at Dick's.
Sir, you have to check the bear trap.
There's no way we're letting you on the plane with that.
You can't carry on a bear trap. Well, I think that's bull.
I'm only gonna get one guy. You know, I don't know what the problem is.
Listen, if he brought the drinks on time, I wouldn't have to lay out the bear trap.
It's not a semi-automatic bear trap.
Christ,
relax.
Yikes.
So you're at Dick's looking for guns and knives.
Looking for guns and like new Nikes, and we trade for Jerome Bettis. It was like right around that draft year. So like we traded a pick to get Bettis. So his first game, we're at a Steelers home game, and he's running around. You know, Bettis a big boy.
Yeah,
you know,
fat. No, I'm just kidding. He's very strong.
Just a bull. I mean, he loves bowling. He ran like a bowling ball. You couldn't stop him, you know? Yeah. And we're up in the stands, up in the 500 levels. And I say to my dad, a little 12-year-old Josh Macuga, like, he runs like a bus. And my dad's like, yeah, we should call him the bus. Because we weren't calling him the bus in Pittsburgh yet. They hadn't called him the bus, nothing like that. So we're driving home. And we call Stan Savarin and Guy Junker. Stan, Guy, love the show. And I'm like, hey, Stan, my name's Josh. I'm from Upper St. Clair. I think Jerome Bettis runs like a bus. We should call him the bus. And they're like, well, actually, they've been calling him the bus since college. Well, we hadn't really picked up on the nickname yet, but we're going to start calling it. 6 weeks later, every shirt in Pittsburgh is just the bus.
Really?
Because he went like 6 straight games, 100+ yards his first season with the Steelers. I wonder
if you could find that archived footage of a young you somewhere.
So, just a phone call of a 12-year-old me.
First time, long time.
100%.
I've been listening for 6 months, which is, a lot of my adult life. That's incredible. Yeah. But so Pittsburgh, you were telling a few stories downstairs before we started, and they were all like, oh, it was a Penguins playoff night.
Right.
Or it was, the Pittsburgh Steelers, whatever. Like, are you this passionate about the Pirates?
No, because... Listen, they haven't been really good. They weren't really good for my entire youth.
Right.
So up like 1991 was when Sid Bream slid into home against the the Braves beat us, and Sid Bream was on the Pirates the year before. He's the slowest man in baseball, and we somehow Bonds doesn't throw him out from shallow left. I'm 9 years old, right? My parents let me stay up. I'm sobbing, couldn't even sleep that night.
Really?
And then the Pirates didn't go to another playoff game until like 2014, right? Like 2014, 2015. So for 26 years, we were terrible at baseball, and those are my formative years of loving
anytime you get
athletics.
Someone that can hit a triple, they just get traded away.
They sold him at the end of the season.
And even Slyke wasn't like famously like a really racist dude too, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah,
I've heard,
I heard that there was just like, you don't.
That's why Bonds left.
Yeah, Slyke.
Yeah. So
who later came to the Mariners as a coach.
Who had a problem with Robinson Cano.
There you go.
Shocking.
It's a pattern.
Van Slyke's family was from like North Hills. I was from the South Hills of Pittsburgh. He went to high school with a couple of my college buddies. Van Slyke's kids did.
Oh, okay.
And so, so then the Pirates got awful. So, but in between that time, the Penguins were incredible, and the Steelers were really good. So there was Neil O'Donnell years, and then into the Roethlisberger years. So you had those diehard teams, and the Pirates were so bad that the city started like slowly but surely just not turning on the team, but turning on ownership and just stopped caring about the owner, team.
Even now,
no, can't stand him because he gets rid of all good players, right? He sells people off. We're one of the few teams in major leagues that turns a profit.
Oh, interesting.
Right? Like most teams are debt financing pretty much everything.
Or there's no way to find out what they make.
Correct. Yeah. But the Pirates we made $140 million. I mean, you didn't spend them on any players, like not a player.
And there's like 12 people in the seats, and they're like, we're still turning a profit.
Ugh.
It's the most beautiful stadium in baseball.
That's my favorite stadium, and I've been to
We've talked about
almost all of them, and it's the best.
So
And I'm like the only smiley guy. Like I was at the game, like, oh, it's good. Look at Pirate Parrot. And everyone else is just like, ugh, this place, this guy.
We spent $4 and that was too much for this team, right? So I slowly but surely, because they were out of the playoff race most years, in my teens and college by the All-Star break. We were just really bad.
By
at
the end
baseball.
of April, there's like no zero chance.
Done. Yeah. Opening day, they
win
win a game. It was like, this is going to be our year.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. But I was like such a diehard Penguins fan, and for me, there really isn't anything better in sports than playoff hockey. Like playoff hockey
Can't wait.
It's
Can't
so good. It's just such a
Here's the
fun
thing,
time of
and
year.
this is me really not knowing, but like, how is hockey seem to be all year round?
October to June.
Yeah, it's a long season.
It's a long season, man.
But like by the time the cup's over, and then when they start back up, it's almost like an all year round.
Because
sport.
they'll do preseason in September.
Yeah.
So there's like it's July and August. There's no hockey.
That's
and
it.
then the rest is hockey.
It's all hockey.
It's insane.
Really, really long season. You talk to any of those guys, that's why they're all crazy people. Is because first of all, you got to be a little nuts to play hockey, right?
Yeah,
sure.
It's so hard that they're like, let them fight, they'll fall down.
Right. You're
Let
telling
them
me
fist fight. Just it's not a problem.
Hey, listen. We're not going to tell you to not fist fight.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, like, don't kill the guy on the
That's
ice.
fine.
Is that like where
If
we
it
can
gets
meet in the middle?
crazy, we're probably gonna come in there.
But we're not like pissed if you fight.
You have blades on your feet and sticks in your hands.
Don't
Have a
jump
good-
kick them. Can we
Have
just
a good
like
time.
Yeah,
draw the
let's
line?
put a kibosh on the jump kicks.
No
It's
using your
insane.
skate
Yeah.
to stab somebody like Happy
I mean,
Gilmore.
if you want to use the stick, just don't use it on the head.
Don't use it like a sword.
Don't do it high.
Keep it
Yeah.
below the shoulder.
It's so
area.
ridiculous.
Yeah. So you've got, and the Penguins were a working class hockey team for the most part. Now everybody thinks it's Sidney Crosby, but Sidney Crosby's a kind of a working class dude. He likes passing. He would never leave Pittsburgh.
He's got a girl's name.
Yeah. You're such a dick.
Right? Do you know any boys named Sydney?
Sidney Poitier.
Sidney Pollock, Sidney Poitier. Great
Wait,
actors.
Those guys are from different countries.
No.
No.
Sidney Poitier is French or something, right?
I think he's American.
Yeah.
Yeah, but French American. I don't know who Sidney Poitier is. I just
He won an first black guy
trying
to
to
win an Oscar.
wiggle out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That was like a working class team for Pittsburgh. And, if you became a Steeler fan with Terry Bradshaw, your boy.
Yeah.
And those 70 Steelers
Whoa,
changed.
no love for Cordell Stewart? I had a
Number
Cordell
10.
Stewart jersey when I was young.
Question. Did you get the Cordell Stewart jersey because Snoop Dogg wore it on an episode of MTV Spring Break?
No, I think I got it because my brother was a Cowboys fan, and I hate that. And the Steelers beat the Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
In the 70s.
Didn't in the 90s?
We lost to the Cowboys in the 95
okay,
Super Bowl,
yeah,
but thanks
that-
for bringing it up.
Sorry
dude.
about that. I think that's what it was. I was
But
like,
you've been this whole time since I've known you like, I hate the Steelers. I don't care that you golf the drum Pettis. He's the reason that they won that Super Bowl because
But
the
now here he's kissing
referees
ass.
the
Yeah.
referees wanted him to be the MVP
Right,
so
Fix
he
was
could
in.
retire and the fix was in.
Fix was
but
in.
then you've had a Cordell Stewart
yeah, but
jersey
that was
this
all
whole
before.
time.
That was all before. That was in 95. I had a Cordell Stewart jersey.
I never had a
I'm learning a
Steelers
lot.
jersey, and
I'm learning a lot, man.
I had a
Yeah.
Steelers jersey, and I got it signed, and I gave it to Josh.
Yeah, you did. It says, congratulations on marriage, Terry Bradshaw. I showed it, I brought it home for Christmas and showed my family.
Yeah,
I was
make
like,
me
I'm cool. Look at this. My buddy Jeff Dye gave this to me as a gift.
Terry's the best. So there's my friend of mine, Eric, in Arizona. His dad loves Terry Bradshaw. He's the only
Okay.
player he's obsessed with because he grew up when Terry was the guy in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And he had a helmet signed by Terry Bradshaw. Someone bought it for him at a thing. And it was like the prize jewel of his office. You go in and that's the first thing you see above his desk. And then he sits at his desk, whatever.
Right.
One day he comes in and he didn't know how long it had been like this, but he looks up and the autograph's not on it. The helmet's just shiny and it's just on the shelf in a box, in the glass box. And he's looking at it. He's like, did someone switch this out? Whatever happened? He's like, whatever. They go look at the security tapes or however they figure out that the cleaning lady, he's she's probably from a different country. She doesn't understand autographs or whatever. She thought she was doing her job so well that she wiped off the autograph. And so it became this huge laugh thing at the office of
That is
this cleaning
incredible.
lady's so thorough that she wiped off an autograph on such and such's helmet. And so it kind of became this really funny story that he's told everyone. He's like, this
That's
dumb
amazing.
woman is whatever. And then, so once I heard that story, and it had been years and years and years, once I heard that story, it was modern time. That happened a long time ago, but I heard it recently. So we got a helmet and Terry wrote on it, the guy's name and then wrote, "Hey, time to hire a new cleaning lady." And then Terry Bradshaw, and then that's in his office.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love
but
it.
I get a good kick out of people loving Terry Bradshaw so much, giving them some sort of, because if it's just like a friend who's like, "Oh, I like sports," like I'm not doing that for you.
No.
But if you love Terry and like you love the Steelers, then like I'm happy to hook that up.
My one uncle, he put it on, and I was like, if anything happens to that jersey. Because
put it on.
Because it's like a 5XL.
It's
It's
huge,
a giant
Well, you gotta put
Mitchell
up
and
those
Ness
pads and all
jersey.
that stuff, yeah.
So it's a giant jersey. My one uncle, who is a giant man, he puts it on. He's like, man, this thing fits great. I was like, take it off. Take that thing off right now. He was wearing it all around Christmas. He's eating buffalo wings on it. I was like, put that jersey
This
on.
thing fits great.
Hands up slow. All right, everyone grab a corner, lift it up.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
He doesn't even see it as a collectible. He's just like, man, not a lot of things fit me this good.
I don't know if I ever told you this, but the first time you gave it to me, I like put it on and it came down to about like just above my knee. And I was like, I'll just probably sleep in this. And I like used it like a blanket and just kind of slept in it. Didn't even get under the covers, just put it on top. The wife wasn't home. She comes home and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, what? Oh, yeah. She's
That's
like,
why you
"Are
need a show.
sleeping in a jersey?"
Like your own, like real, like everyday TV talk show or whatever, because like those kind of things are so fun and you're not doing it for anyone else.
No.
Like, and that's what makes it, I've always said that like true funny people are trying to do silly, stupid stuff like that all day long. I heard this thing that your devices like are listening to us, like no matter what we talk about, like it's going to know the thing, and then it'll send us notifications and blah, blah, blah.
Your ads will be.
Dude, I talk in
So
front of
while I
Alexa
was at
every
my
morning.
parents' house,
She knows
I'm
everything.
not crazy about my parents. I would when they would like leave the room around their phones, I'd go dildo, pussy, pocket, pussy. I would just say these things, and I was making myself laugh, just trying to speak into their phones like while they weren't around. And so like and then I like started sneaking around the house and go like find my mom's room, and I was just like dildo, dicks. I want porn lube, And then it was making myself laugh so hard, but nobody was noticing. So then because nobody's at the house. So then the next night I was telling my friend Katie and her husband about it, and she's like, "You're an idiot. Like, you're such a..." But like that's the thing. I wasn't doing it for anyone else. I just thought it was funny.
Instagram ads of dildos to pop
I
up.
want my dad to open his computer and go, "Oh God!" It's the best. But I love that your wife comes home and goes, "Why do you have that Terry Bradshaw jersey on,
Wrapped around
like a
you.
house coat?"
Yeah, it's my favorite thing. I mean, it's been hanging in my closet. Like it's amongst shirts and stuff,
Yeah.
and sometimes I just move it aside and I just look at it.
I love that. Well, you got to hang out with Terry. That's the best.
That's a dream scenario.
Dude, he's the best. And he'll
scenario.
hang out with us for hours. He likes this, and he likes camaraderie, and he likes stories. He'd love that strip club thing. Like any story you got, old or new, he just likes old street jokes.
Yeah.
Like if you try to do one of my bits, like the things I do on stage, he'd be like, "What are you open with these days?" And I said it in the car. No one laughed. And gets a laugh every night of my
Every time.
career. I know it's good. I'm a professional comedian. I told him, he goes, "I wouldn't open with that, bud." And then he's just making fun of me about how it wasn't funny. I was like, "No, I know it worked." And then he tells me some old vaudeville street joke that's like filthy, and he's like, "Open with that, Jack." And you're like, "All right, Terry." But like, that's the thing. He would love you.
It's I was talking to, I think it was like Steve Renazizi, maybe it was John Caparulo. I think it was Cap, and he said that he went to like early on in his career, he went to an old folks home, right? And he started with some of his material, and it was bombing. So he just started using Argus Hamilton one-liners and destroyed.
Really?
Like absolutely destroyed. And he came back and he told Argus, and Argus was like, "I don't care. Do whatever you want." No big
Who's
deal to me."
Argus?
You know Argus Hamilton? He's like a regular at the Comedy
Comedy
Store.
Store, yeah.
Is he like
He's
a
the old
weird
guy.
looking? Oh, never mind.
Old
Really
guy
old.
that
No, I was
is-
thinking of a guy named Vargas something. Vargas.
No.
No, so he's just doing old like.
Just old one. I mean, Argus Hamilton's been on the Tonight Show back when Johnny Carson was the host, like 30 times, right?
Oh, really?
And all of his jokes are they're like Fraser Smith jokes, right?
Okay,
They're just
yeah.
like solid one-liner
it's
kind of a situation.
like vaudevillian.
Yeah, like 1950s guys, like take my wife, I take her
Right.
everywhere, she always comes back.
Yeah.
Right? That kind of a stuff and that kills with my dad kind of a stuff, right? My dad was a car dealer forever, and he would always go around to his mechanics and like the lot lizards
Got
and
a
the car
joke
wash
for you,
guys.
yeah.
He's like, "Tell me jokes, give me some jokes." And he's like, "A lot of these are off color, but I got a good one for you." And then he tells my dad's like writing down punchlines, like, "All right, give me that one again. Let me give this one." And he'd come home to like a 12-year-old Josh, be like, "Yeah, I got one for you." And he'd tell it. My mom, like,
It's
"John,
so great.
it's not that good."
It
John
is
shouldn't
funny
tell that."
though.
Yeah.
I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What's your best street joke?
So Jesus and Moses, they're out and they're preaching. And,
Wildly famous.
I mean, crazy
They're both
famous.
famous.
They're preaching all day long. It's the desert, the apostles, everybody. It's just like one of those long days. And they pop into this local town and they stop into the pub and they go in and the bartender's like, oh my God, Jesus, Moses, big fan. He's like, listen, I don't own the bar, but if I did, I would give you guys free drinks. But my owner's here and he's not really a big fan of the Jews. And they're like, it's all right. No worries. We'll buy drinks. He's like, great. So they sit down and Moses is like,
I'm
you know
not
what?
a big fan of
I'll have an ale. And the bartender's like, ale. And Jesus is like, I'll just have a water. And the bartender turns around and the bartender gets it, brings it back to him. And the bartender turns back. Moses gives him the money. Moses takes a sip. Jesus turns the water to wine, chugs it. He goes, bartender, just one more water. And Moses turns to Jesus and goes, I know we're Jews, but that is cheap. It's a straight joke.
I love it.
It's a straight one. Yeah.
But it's good. You've attacked the Jews at the highest form.
Correct.
Jesus. Just got to go
I've
right
told it
with
in
it.
front of a room full of Jewish guys, and they thought it was
Oh, I
hysterical.
love it. Yeah, for
they
sure.
love it.
Because they have the best sense of humor.
They're the best. They're amazing people. I was going to tell Larry David it at the driving range. You ever been to this Weddington Golf and Tennis
I
Center?
was there
man?
last night.
Get out of
We
here.
were hitting golf balls till 10 p.m. Me and my buddy Matt.
It's the best place in the world.
Oh, no one was there. It was me and Matt in the rain, just blasting golf
It's
balls.
the best.
And
It's the best.
and
We
then
should go and play sometime, dude.
We
Anytime
go
you want to
tonight
go.
if you want. And then we went to Laurel Tavern afterwards. I had like a veggie burger and a bunch of whiskey. I was like, what a great night.
Yep.
This was just so fun.
You know what you can also do, which I've done at Weddington a bunch of times, is you go there, because I think they serve the last bucket of balls at 10, like 9:45, something like that.
Yeah, I think
But
it ends
stays
at
open.
10, but you can stay up until 11.
It stays open until 11, right? So like on a couple Friday nights, if I'm not doing anything, the wife's out of town or something, my one buddy Tanner and I'm just like Weddington, and we bring, a 12 pack or a bottle
Text
of
me,
whiskey,
dude. Yeah.
bunch of cigarettes, and we
Text
act like
me.
it's 18 holes, and we just go and I'll
But
hit you
text
up,
me because
for sure. I didn't know you played.
My buddy Matt, he gets free. We can do whatever we want there free because he's a coach.
Oh, no way.
And he's coached there. So that's why we went. He was like, dude, the place that I go almost nightly is right by your house. And I was like, well, let's go. And he goes, yeah, let's
He's
go.
a
So I
golf
brought my-
coach?
Well, he does everything. He's
Okay.
like Matt Lackman might be one of the best humans I've ever met.
Matt Lightman?
Matt Lackman. His dad's Brad Lackman, who worked for Bob Hope and
Okay.
did all this stuff. They have their own production company.
Okay.
But he's he went to Yale. He was coach roller derby. Every Monday and Tuesday he hands out food super late at night. He'd be mad that I'm sharing this to the homeless people. They make burritos and then go give them to homeless people
So nice.
every Monday, 2 nights a week.
God, my life is meaningless compared to this guy.
This guy's such a good dude. I only coach Special Olympics because he's dude, we would love to have you. And so I go coach Special Olympics because of Matt Lackman. He's been a Special Olympics coach for a decade.
Incredible.
So he coaches golf for these kids, and that happens to be there. So he gets.
Was he Harvard Westlake golf coach or something? Or no?
I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever uses that.
Because
Whatever.
Harvard Westlake, I think, uses that, and they're going to tear that down soon.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
But he
they
goes,
keep pushing it.
But he says,
is great 'cause
I'll
it's
just use
perfect.
the facility that they put up. He goes,
Right.
I probably will enjoy that too. It'll be
Yeah.
basketball court. Whatever they're going to put in is going to be huge.
So-
$60 million is what they're putting. They're putting in a $60 million sports facility.
Jeez.
Yeah, and what's funny is that Matt was laughing so hard because I can only drive. It's all I'm good at.
Okay.
But I can drive 350 yards. So
Jesus.
I was just blasting it over the net.
Yeah.
And he goes, if we come in the day,
You can't do that.
you can't do that. They say no drivers,
Yeah.
no woods.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's they're getting away with it because there's nobody out on that golf course
No.
that you're hitting it over the net of.
Right.
But I was just going home run derby, just boom. And he's like, dude, 50 golf balls.
But there is something really special, the feeling you get in your pants when you put a drive over that net.
Dude,
My
very
dick
few
is so
things
big.
in life make me as happy as doing that.
Man, it
I
is
feel
just
that's
incredible.
probably what it's like when Pujols is just chilling, when low pressure, just home runs, just taking BP and hitting.
Yeah.
hitting
That's
jack.
why
Gonzo.
I'm terrible. I'm good with the short game. I can't drive because
Which makes no sense.
I know. Well, it's because I have a slice.
This guy's a bopper. This guy can hit home runs in a major league park.
Right.
Yeah, I have a slice and a draw,
Okay.
so I don't know what to fix because I was a baseball player, so I have a
Okay.
baseball swing.
Right.
We have a family tournament every summer, and there's one hole on this golf course where you're sitting way up high and you shoot down this hill and it dog legs
Okay.
this way. So that's just my only hole. So
Okay.
I just smash it and it perfectly hooks.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
funny.
it like goes
Attaboy.
exactly the right. So that's like the one because we do like best ball, like there's teams of 4. So you all hit a drive, move to the best spot, and
Yeah, no, we know
continue.
what best ball is. Best ball is what all the celebrity tournaments use, which is why it's great. They always use my drive, and then
you
the
can just
rest
phone
is
it in.
them.
Yeah, just phone it in. Yeah.
We play this. My dad and I, a few years back, and a buddy of mine started this thing called the Queen's Cup, and it started with like 4 dudes, and then it went to 8. This year we had 12.
And a bunch of gay guys.
Tons of like, and then you play with a gay
All
partner.
queens.
It's all. The funny thing is the reason we call it the Queen's Cup is because on the cup is a $1 bill from Canada with the Queen's picture
Oh,
on
that's
it.
amazing.
And they don't make a $1 bill in Canada anymore. It's all
Queer
coins.
is a $1 bill. Yeah, remember
Correct.
that?
Yeah. And so I won the Queen's Cup this year, which was like it was a big deal in the family
Yeah,
because
it's
my
great.
brother
It's
was
like fantasy,
psyched. My
yeah.
dad was like, they've never won it. And it's a big cup. So we were like drinking beer out of it at the thing. And so there's my golf game is very, I mean, like most people, it's very up and down. But
That's
on this day,
anyone listening to this, you think, oh, I don't care about golf. These guys are talking about golf. I don't care about golf. You don't care about golf because you're not good at it, right? And if you do like golf, you might be like, oh, maybe these guys are really good. No, the truth is, no one's good at golf.
nobody is.
Nobody.
Unless you're a pro golfer, nobody's
Yeah,
good.
none of us are good.
Yeah.
So if you just get over that, don't worry about it.
I've
You
seen-
shit.
I've seen
shit.
Sergio get a plus 12 on a
Yeah,
hole. So
yeah.
I mean, even I
Yeah.
don't feel so bad.
My
Yeah, it's
dad,
fine.
here's like, this is a classic name drop. Here's a Hollywood scenario. My dad and I are at a golf outing in Pittsburgh, and you get to play 3 holes with a celebrity, and our celebrity was Lou Holtz, right?
Oh, nice.
And so I was like 19, 20, summer after sophomore year of college, and I just blow a drive into the woods, so far into the woods, and I was like, God damn it. And Lou Holtz looks at me and he goes, we're not good enough to be mad. And I was like, you're right.
Yeah, that's
and,
right.
And from then on, I was like, well,
But you weren't really mad. You were embarrassed. That's what it
probably
was.
was.
You
Yeah.
thought that those guys were going to judge you,
I
but
also
they
put a
didn't.
$6 golf ball in the woods that was brand new. I
Yeah,
was
they
like,
didn't
"Ah,
care. They were like, yeah, we don't care. Why do you care so
what do you
much?
care? Yeah. It's a scramble, dude. It
cares?
doesn't
Yeah, it's
matter.
golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, golf's more about smoking cigars, telling stories, having laughs.
Yeah.
Like, so whenever I do these celebrity tournaments, what happens is they all want the Jason Kidds. They all want the Jerome Bettises. They all want the athletes. And then they get me and they're like, we've never heard of this guy. Like, what do you mean? We have some young, smiley idiot. We don't want this guy. But they're polite and they don't want to say they've spent, $20 grand to be at this golf tournament from their company money. And then after like 3 holes, they're like, dude, he's the best. He's telling us stories. He's making us laugh.
Yeah.
He's like engaging with us and being
busting
playful.
balls, yeah.
And then they talk to their buddies who got like Jason Kidd, and like, oh, he like played 6 holes, he quit. He talked to us in 0. He we'd
They
ask him about
hate it.
sports. Yeah, because athletes aren't as fun as like comedians and guys. I make sure my guys have a good time. We're doing
Sure.
shots. We're smoking cigars.
Yeah.
And
If I'm not blacked out after 18-hole celebrity kind of
Yes.
a situation, it sounds boring.
yeah, and they want guys like us. They're like, oh, this guy wanted to be friends with us. He
Yes.
wanted to make us laugh. Yeah.
The point, listen, the point of a golf outing, it's a scramble. It's not to play good. It's not to win. Nobody's going to win. It's always fixed in like the favor of one of the teams. I played in a golf outing for Santa Monica High School. The bishop won.
Right.
I mean, of course he
Yeah.
did. He's got the God on his
Bishop.
side, and he brought in pros from Hawaii. I was like, this is hysterical. Of course he's going to
Throwing
win.
ringers when he has the
Yeah.
Lord.
But every hole had a case of beer. I was like, guys, we drink a beer a hole. I don't care what,
That's
what's
the
going
rules.
on. Shotgun it. It's only Coors Light. It's water. We're fine. But like the 16th hole, I mean, like we were all really drunk. I mean, it was really intoxicated. I'm in the parking lot getting in my car. I was like, nah, I really shouldn't drive. I slept in the parking lot of a golf course. And not only did I sleep in the parking lot of a golf course, 4 guys in my force and 3 of us, we all like slept, didn't notice because the parking lot was so big. We all woke up in the morning, kind of like rolled out. We're like,
You slept too.
you slept here too?
Yeah.
We got the outing ended at like 1:30. We slept there for about 4.5 hours, and then the sun came up. We're like, oh, God, I guess we gotta go home.
That's hilarious. Wait, so you guys didn't have like a hotel? Like
Nothing. Just slept in the backseat of the
I
car.
always just limp back to my hotel. Like,
Yeah. Oh boy.
And one time at Caddyshack, Bill Murray's golf thing, I fell asleep in the bathtub and almost died. Like I woke up like just all weird. And I told my girlfriend at the time, I was like, Kim, I think I need someone to come over here. I'm like so scared. She's like, what happened? Everyone's asking where you're at. And I was like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll be right down. But I was like so embarrassed that I like almost died in the bathtub. Wait, so you do so many things.
Yeah.
You are on the Schmoes Nose and all this different stuff.
Yeah,
Which
Collider.
explain to the people how that works.
Okay. So we back in the day, Christian and Mark started Schmoes. I did like a couple guest reviews for them. Then they started the live podcast, and then Ken Knapsack and I were basically like their first full-time like contributors, guests, whatever. And we were pretty much on the show every week. And then AMC Movie Talk started. Mark and Christian started on AMC Movie Talk. Then it switched over to Collider. Collider and Schmoes kind of merged to a certain point. We all started working with Collider. And it's kind of like been that since, doing all kinds of stuff with Collider, whether it's, movie reviews, movie talk, Collider Live now. I do Collider TV talk, movie trivia Schmodown, all that kind of fun stuff.
How does it work? So just before you explain all that, or before you keep going, is there ever a week where you're like, I didn't watch any movies this week? Or like, do you think to yourself like, to your wife, like, hey, we got to watch this movie tonight because I need to be able to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like for the bigger movies, yes, for sure. Like a lot of the Marvel stuff, the superhero stuff, anything that's kind of pushing the social needle, you should watch.
Sure.
Which
is fun anyway.
Which is
like, what great homework.
Right.
Like, I got to go watch Aquaman with my wife. How great is that?
But we also get invited to all those screenings all the time, which is one of the coolest things about my job. 100% is that, when I was a kid, the dream scenario was always, go to a premiere of a movie, right?
Sure.
That was so cool.
Now you're doing it all the time.
All the time, right? And if you're just like, I got to go to a premiere. What is this for?
This movie? Rim I don't want to see this as much as the other premieres I go to.
Yeah. And you're walking along the red carpet and he's like, oh, Idris Elba's here. Whatever. But it's awesome, right? You get jaded to a certain extent, but it is really, really cool.
Sure.
And going to the screenings and, the fans of Collider are awesome. And the people that watch our stuff are really, really cool. And so, there are certain movies that you should definitely see right away so that you can talk on them, right? Because you don't want to be the one guy left out.
Which is why I haven't watched this isn't a movie, but what's the show that everyone likes with the dragons and stuff?
Game of Thrones?
I haven't seen that because I'm just like, nobody's going to want to talk about season 1 with me now.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, really?
People would want to talk about season 1.
Or I'm trying to think of other things where I'm just like, it's like I watched Point Break for the first time ever like 4 months ago.
The original? Or?
The original.
With Patrick Swayze.
And it was so good. I was so obsessed. I was like, this movie's fantastic. And all my friends were like, we knew you'd love it. Like, we know you're going to love this movie.
If I were to meet you and only talk to you for 5 minutes, I would say there are 3 movies you should watch right away. Point Break would be like A1.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I watched it the next day again. And then I watched half of it on a plane drunk the third day. I was like, just so good.
If Point Break is on TV, just cancel whatever you have for the next 2 hours because you're watching Point Break.
Destiny.
Yeah. This is it. You're flipping through, you're like,
it's so good.
The first time I moved to California, first time I went to Malibu, right? I moved to LA, I go to Malibu, like my second weekend here. I'm walking around going like, yo, Johnny Utah was right.
Hell yeah.
And people are like, you know what else is here? Like all this famous stuff. I was like, yeah.
But not as famous as this.
Johnny Utah.
Yeah.
This was his spot.
The snitch, dude.
Yeah. I was legitimately thinking about going to Ohio. Even I can't stand Ohio State football. I went to Penn State.
Yeah.
They're a rival, but everybody's like, why would you want to go to Ohio State? In-state Penn State is so cheap. I'm like, Johnny Utah went to Ohio State.
What's funny is I should start playing for that. I should start because I play Ohio like more than any other like state for comedy.
Oh yeah,
because all the funny bones are there, and
Columbus,
I'm friends with the booker or whatever, and he's just a great guy.
There used to be a funny bone in Pittsburgh. There isn't one anymore.
I played the Improv in Pittsburgh.
Improv in Pittsburgh,
yeah, and the same guy that owns the Funny Bones books that.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think.
Okay.
That might not be true, but I like the Pittsburgh Improv. I did it once. It was fantastic.
It's a great town for comedy.
Dude, Pittsburgh's the best city.
It's an awesome city. Yeah,
it's
it really is.
so good. One thing I think is fascinating though is it does have that mentality of like, oh God, don't think you're special just because you're a celebrity. Like I don't.
No.
Nobody thinks I'm special because I'm a celebrity.
No.
But don't think you're special because you're not a celebrity.
Yep.
That doesn't make you. I'm not more important than you, but you're not more important than me because you work at the Cheesecake Factory. You can't.
Well, it's a very meaty, like medium keel city.
Yeah.
Like if you think you're better than everybody else, you're going to get a punch in the face at some point in the bar.
Yeah.
Like the rich kids in my town were the least likable dudes because everybody's like, what do you think you're better because your parents make a lot of money?
Yeah. I couldn't get over how beautiful it was. And everyone was getting very annoyed with me about how, because like in LA, if you've never been to LA or if you've never been to like a place like Utah or whatever, you are always surrounded by like these dry looking mountains. Yeah. You can always see them around you.
Desert.
Whereas in where I was in Pittsburgh, it was always like mountains with tons of trees on it. So just like greenery is like completely around. I just kept being like, this is so freaking beautiful.
Yeah, it's a totally different scene. And it rains there all the time. So everything's always green.
Awesome.
There's never not rain. And it's the kind of town too where it's like if people have never been to Pittsburgh, they automatically think it's hideous, right?
Right.
And
yeah. If you just hear
they're
you think of like
Pittsburgh's
warehouses
gross.
and like
you think of steel mills, all that stuff. Pittsburgh's had like 2 major renaissances. Like the steel mills left, we had to reinvent our city.
Yep.
The .com boom happened, then we had to reinvent our city, right? And so it's one of those cities that has like a very resilient kind of a thing, and it's also one of those cities like all my buddies from high school are still there. Nobody leaves. All girls, guys, everybody. If they left for a little while, they moved back. They've all come back to Pittsburgh. It's one of those cities where people live there, they stay there, they raise their families there, and it's a generational city. Nobody really leaves, which is awesome because when I go back there, because my parents are still there, most of not all of my family is still there. When I go back, I get to see everybody all in one trip.
That's awesome. Yeah.
One side of the family one night, one side of the friends the next night. The local bar, I still go into my local bar and see the same 40, 50 people.
And they're excited to see you because you're never there.
Yeah, and they're pumped. They're like, "This place is the worst. Why do you come here?" I was no, this place is the best because
exactly.
It's perfect. The saloon in Mount Lebanon, just the best, one of the best dive bars you'll ever go to.
I'm not here every night, so it's a treat.
Yeah, exactly. But it is one of those cities where people, when they go to a comedy show, they go there to laugh. It's not like
regular people.
Yeah, they want there. I played Pittsburgh Improv a few years back over a Thanksgiving weekend, and the Steelers won the home game on Sunday. That night show was packed full of drunk people ready to laugh. It was
absolutely
awesome.
Every show I had was like, even the Sunday was like packed out and like great. Yeah. And I just kept being like, the only thing I'd say is like, go easy on your athletes. Just be a little nicer. Like it's like you rode Terry Bradshaw pretty hard. You rode a lot of these guys pretty hard. Yeah. In fact, and be a little nicer to this one guy you got, Pirate Parrot. Like, he's been there the whole time. He's never hit his wife. He's never gotten a DUI. No allegations of gal stuff.
When I was 10, 11, right before my teenage years, we're at a Pirate game at the old Three Rivers Stadium. PNC Park didn't come around until like end of high school. Okay. Maybe like beginning of college, I think. I forget when that came. 2001, maybe? And I'm at the game. I'm at Three Rivers Stadium. And, Three Rivers Stadium was like Riverfront. It was like those stadiums that were football and baseball. Oh, yeah. Right? And it was all turf. And the turf was basically just carpet on stone. Yeah. And you had to move the stadium to make the baseball. And then you move the stands out to make football, right? So the stands moved up and down. Okay. So during football games, people would jump up and down. And you see the stadium moving from people like freaking out, right? And going nuts.
It's frightening.
And because they were metal, if it rained, people were slipping on everything, right? So Pirate Parrot's walking on the stairs.
Oh no!
And
my guy,
eats it and just, and he ends up at the dugout, and we're 2 seats behind the dugout. And I remember being that age, that formative age, when you heard a swear word, it kind of changed your whole perspective on stuff. Yeah. And you heard the guy inside the Pirate Parrot go, "Motherfucker." My dad was like, Pirate Parrot's not doing too hot.
Well, his head didn't fall off. No, at least there's that.
Pirate Parrot is a classic, man.
Dude, he's legend.
He comes to all like the major functions. I don't know how many people are inside the Pirate Parrot, but yeah, he's everywhere.
I'm a big mascot guy, but I love the Pirate Parrot. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. It's the same outfit since like the 60s.
Yeah.
Still in the same
big,
thing.
Stupid. It doesn't even make sense. You think it'd be a pirate. But nope, it's just a parrot.
The parrot that's on the pirate's shoulder.
Yeah, but there's no pirate to be found. Nope. Just a big parrot.
Nope. No.
All right. So I want to hear more about the movie stuff. So
so that like all the Collider stuff, I'm able to, go see all these movies, talk about these movies. And inside the office, there are like legitimate critics that are very good at their job as far as like breaking down movies and saying words like allegory and like things like that.
Soliloquy.
And
vignette.
Right. Good work, man.
All these things that I'm hearing and I
really
go,
well done.
God.
So those people are on a lot of the shows that I won't be on. Right. And then they bring me in for a lot of like the color commentary on certain shows. So like Collider Live, I got a lot of color commentary, Collider TV talk, anything that needs like a comedic kind of, boost, a punch up, whatever. Like I'll throw Macuga on there. It'll be fine. He can talk on just about anything.
Well, and do you ever feel guilty about being hard on a movie? What if you really because there's.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Cause that's my one thing is like, I would never, even if I disliked a movie, I would never say it. Because I just think like there's probably some bastard like me who was like, you know what, I worked really hard at writing this. Right. And the studio, they changed things. This original script never looked like this. I kind of sold out as my first picture. Yeah. And so I said, I made some compromises I didn't want to make. I had some real battles over email. There was like 400 emails exchanged and they were hell bent on making this scene this way. I didn't want it shot that way, and and then some. Then I come in like, this movie was dumb. Why didn't they? And then, you know, so
You're nailing it on the head. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's hard.
the scene that you just painted,
Yeah.
I feel all the time because I work with a lot of people that are like, this was absolute garbage. What I saw did not work. This didn't work. And I'm always just like, I mean, there were points that were good.
Yeah.
Right? Did I love it? Is it my favorite movie ever? No. But man, they really tried hard.
Sure.
Right? I want to give them the benefit of the doubt.
yeah.
Right?
That's why I love M. Night Shyamalan.
Right.
Everyone's mean to him, but it's like he made 5 better movies than any of my young friend filmmakers.
All the time. Dude, listen, it's kind of like somebody that's been in, you know, like they were typecast in a show that was incredible, right? Say like a
Screech,
Sure.
Urkel.
Go ahead. Any of those guys, right? They were part of history. They were part of a show that at one time was a huge part of kind of pop culture,
Absolutely.
right? And then they just disappeared and fell in hard times. But at one point, they were bigger than 99.99% of people out there.
Urkel and Screech were so good at their role that people could never see them in any other role.
Nope. Definitely not.
He was forever Urkel. That's how good he was at Urkel.
Yes.
And Screech could not be in another thing because like people are like, that's Screech.
That's him.
Yeah.
I was watching the
Stifler.
Sopranos, Stifler, same thing.
Yeah.
You know, he's in this Lethal Weapon show. They're like,
Yeah,
oh,
he's
Stifler's in
doing
Lethal
a little
Weapon?
better than those, but still, yeah.
Well,
good.
he's more talented,
You
but
still-
people still call him a character's
Stifler.
name.
Exactly. Yeah.
Chandler.
Yeah.
Exactly. Chandler. Yeah.
I was watching Sopranos celebrated the 20th anniversary of the show, right? And they had a 20th reunion of a lot of the characters on Today's Show or something. I watched the whole thing on YouTube, right? And they were talking about how Meadow Soprano saying, you know, I really haven't done much since Sopranos because a lot of people have a hard time seeing me as anything else but Meadow Soprano. Anywhere I go, if I'm getting recognized on the street, people are like, Meadow, right? But she said, at the end of the day, I was still a huge part of probably one of the most important TV shows in history.
Right. Absolutely.
That's a really cool thing to say.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's
okay,
special.
maybe it's really special. A lot of people never even get that opportunity in entertainment. They're
Right.
like, I did an off-Broadway play that got recognized in the New York Times. That might be as best as they've ever done.
Right.
But you were the daughter on The Sopranos. You auditioned for probably 2,000 or 3,000 girls auditioned for Meadow Soprano across the country, and you were the one that got chosen.
Yeah.
Same as the kid Robert Eiler that got AJ Soprano. That kind of
Sure.
situation. He hasn't done really anything since. But at one point, you were Anthony Jr. on Sopranos.
No one else could say they were that.
No.
Yeah,
It's a
100%.
really, really cool thing, right? I mean, it's hard to even think, but I mean, listen, are there bad movies out there? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I have bad taste in movies? I think I do, because a lot of the people that I work with are such like purists. They're like, that movie was trash. I said,
Yeah.
Let's Be Cops. It was funny.
Yeah.
That movie was really funny.
You ever seen
Okay?
The Black Knight with Martin Lawrence?
That movie is awesome.
Great movie, yeah.
King's Daughter's a freak. Like,
Yeah,
that
it's
movie
so
is
good.
great, right?
And people are so mean about it. It's like, yeah,
So
you're
mean.
looking at it wrong.
Yeah.
What'd you think? Like, so the last Predator movie that came out,
Yeah.
all my friends are like, oh, Jeff loves Predator. He's going to be so disappointed.
Predator's great.
I went and saw it twice. And I thought it was so stinking awesome. And all my friends were shocked. Like, you liked that? I was like, is it perfect? No, but it's still fun.
That's how I know that a lot of my people that I work with, we have such different tastes, is because they will trash a movie and I will go and see it and be like, this was great.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw Peppermint with Jennifer Garner. She's
Yeah.
a badass. It got 13% on Rotten
Yeah,
Tomatoes.
yeah.
That movie, she's
great.
a female John Wick.
I just watched Black Klansman because I got the screener.
Fantastic.
And yeah, like about 10 of my friends had told me the movie sucks. I watched it last night, and because they had kept telling me it sucked, I kept pausing it and going, this is a great movie.
What am I missing?
Why did they think this sucked?
What am I missing? Yeah.
It's got the extremist black people who are taking it way too far. You got the extremist white people that are taking it way too far. And then you got these guys pulling a bait and switch on everyone to get along.
Hysterical.
It's so good.
It really is. It's a weird thing, like taste in movies and TV, because I try and like most everything. I always compare myself to that episode of The Simpsons when Homer's the food critic and everybody in Springfield gains like 400 pounds, right? Because they get so fat from Homer's food critics because everything is the best food on the planet, right?
But that's good.
That's good.
And also, you know who's going to like that? Directors, writers,
Yes.
producers. They're going to be like, this guy gets how to enjoy something.
Yeah.
It's not about your art as much as like, oh, he gets our intent.
I always get shit on because I love I love 90s and early 2000 rom-coms. I love when everybody's like, oh, Matthew McConaughey's going down a dark place. I'm like, guys, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, pretty entertaining
Good movie, yeah.
It's got a good plot
When
to
did
it.
everyone's
It's entertaining.
expectations get so high?
Yeah.
When did everyone start being like, ugh? Well, guess what's not a freaking Polanski film? It's Predator. It's the fifth Predator.
Yeah.
He brought some Predator dogs back with him. You get a bigger Predator. You got a beautiful lady that knows like some stuff. The kid with autism is like real smart. What do you want?
You've got all of it.
It's got everything.
Yes. What did you expect? Did you want Schwarzenegger again in the jungle? Because we could have just played Predator, a remastered version.
What said? They would have said, "Oh, it's just like the first one," which is what Star Wars fans do. Star Wars are always like, I already had it. It's like, is anything going to make you happy, or did you just want the movie you would have made?
That's the thing. I think that's the problem with Star Wars. Right, like Episode 7, pretty well liked by people, and J.J. Abrams, just with everything he does, likes to ask questions or make questions come up, and never answer them. Like Lost, there's no answers.
Like Bird Box,
and then Episode 8 kind of doesn't answer any of these questions we're thinking about for 2 years, and people came up with people came up with their own answers, like, oh, Rey's parents is going to be this or whatever, and then when it's not that, people are like, oh, well, this sucks, It's like just because it's not the movie you would have made, That's exactly
if it's not your idea, it doesn't make it wrong,
and it doesn't make it suck.
Well, I would have done. Guess what? You don't make movies, dum-dum.
Yeah,
you work at the coffee shop. You don't get to say like, well, I would have done.
Just because you wrote the plot to your Star Wars movie on the back of your Cracker Barrel receipt doesn't give you the right to tell us what
giving
the
them
Last
too much
Jedi.
credit. I bet they didn't write it. They just
and that's why there's these people that were trying to
Finn be the Jedi,
and they're trying to these people that were trying to crowdfund to make their own Episode 8. Please do it. I'd love to see that disaster. I would love to see that.
The CGI, the bad directing, all of that. The most vitriol and comments I've ever gotten on a tweet in my life. Okay. I legitimately asked the question in this tone, but on Twitter, it was read like this, right? I read it as, what's wrong with The Last Jedi? And I think people read, what's wrong with The Last Jedi?
And then they were like, oh, finally my chance.
I don't know where it is on my Twitter. It's somewhere maybe a year and a half ago.
How many replies?
900 and something comments. Like only 200 likes, a bunch of retweets, kind of things, whatever.
Yeah.
All those comments were like one of 16. And it just like the dude giving me his whole life story. And it was right around the time when they moved 140 to 280. And I was like, oh my God.
Here comes a dissertation.
If you think I'm going to read your 16-page diatribe on what's wrong with The Last Jedi, you are sorely mistaken.
You're wrong. Whatever you thought you hated about it, you were wrong. It's a great movie. Same with Solo. Solo was a great film.
Everybody bashed Solo. If you like heist movies, you'll love Solo.
Such a good movie.
It's great.
I don't understand why it did bad.
It's because everybody wanted basically somebody that was Harrison Ford, and they didn't get that guy. Isn't Harrison Ford.
It also reboots Darth Maul. It gives us another Darth Maul story.
I think they wanted a different spinoff. I don't think anybody was really asking for like a Han Solo origin story. These are what Star Wars fans are telling me. What I got was a cool ass Star Wars movie.
It was awesome.
Yes.
It was like a free movie. That's what I'd see it as. I was like, oh, free movie, free Star Wars movie. This isn't connected.
And
it's like a bonus.
All those Star Wars purists come back and they're like, I mean, it was fine, I guess. I mean, it wasn't
It's
like
not
the
as
original
good as the Star
saga.
Wars Christmas special. Remember that film? George Lucas made that film.
That was a disaster.
Another thing is like
Ken Knapsack has that on DVD.
I have it on my computer. I've watched it 1,000 times. I think it's so funny.
Hey,
when he's watching the trapeze, I've done so many times. Like, here's how you can describe my Thanksgiving with my family, and then it's like 3 whiskey emojis, and then it's just the youngest Wookiee watching the trapeze artist. Just going, that's a good way to describe it. Wait,
good.
so not Darth Maul, Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Did you believe that do you believe he's the Sith? He was originally supposed to be the Sith.
He's not the Sith.
He was going to be the Sith.
There's no way.
And then George Lucas decided to not make him the Sith.
Because of the poor response?
Because people were such aggressive idiots.
And that's sad, like how it almost ruined that guy's life.
Who, George Lucas?
No, Ahmed Best.
Yeah. The guy who played Jar Jar Binks.
Poor guy.
Well, actually, he didn't ruin his life. He was pretty open
almost.
about it. It kind of hurt his career, but it didn't ruin his life. Because he was in Stomp. He did a bunch of, he's really talented thespian who can like sing and act and dance. But here's the thing is that he said, when people ask him, did it ruin your life or ruin yourself? He was like, to be honest, I was a grown man when it happened. So at least I can handle that. I'm a grown man. Whose life it ruined was the guy who played, the Anakin Skywalker. Yeah. He's like, that's a little boy that now everyone's trashing and talking and doing all these awful things. You know, and it ruined his life.
Yeah. I mean, and if you look back at the prequels, they aren't bad movies. They're actually pretty damn good movies.
Yeah.
It's that the CGI is a little overdone because it doesn't really hold up compared to the CGI now. And the writing is like the dialogue is just bad. The plot lines of the movie are great. The fight scenes are great. The whole thing.
George Lucas is such a pioneer. And when you're a pioneer, sometimes you bet on the wrong things.
Yes.
So did he bet on making a sci-fi movie in the 70s before they were real popular? And not only a sci-fi movie, but like putting in Jim Henson, like puppets and stuff like that. That's a bet. And he won that bet. So when CGI is supposed to be this new thing where you can do anything with computers, he took a gamble and he said, you know what, let's do that. Like, I'm going to invest. I've always been a pioneer. And then he lost that bet because it didn't work out the way he had hoped and everyone turned on him. Yeah. But like,
he
you
still
can't
made
blame him for like
billions
trying.
of dollars.
But he was also like, he was trying something. Going, oh, this could be, that's what's next. That's how people think is nobody wants to be the person that tries the thing. They want to be the person that's like, who would do that?
But if George Lucas doesn't try that in 97, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we get the Matrix in 99.
No, never.
All that Matrix technology was taken from Skywalker Ranch. Exactly. What he did at Skywalker Ranch was make that possible, make a ton of that CGI, the green screen, all that kind of stuff possible, and make people want to like do it better and better.
Nobody
and better.
even heard of CGI until those Star Wars.
Right. And I think in film too, we always kind of see that where like there's got to be these like swing and misses, and then there's these awesome things. Like look at how awesome superhero movies are now. Right. Look back when it was the Daredevil movie and Elektra and Catwoman.
Well, think about like
that wasn't a great era for superhero movies, and now they're like
if you took some of the best stuff of that Daredevil movie. Elektra movie, not the best either. And like Catwoman, really, because it just didn't fit anywhere. Yeah. Right? They didn't have like a through plot line. But Daredevil isn't that bad. Listen, I think the movie Phantom with Billy Zane is a very underrated superhero movie. That movie has an entertainment value. I'm serious. Really? Look, my dad's favorite comic book character has always been the Phantom, right? He's in Australia. It was written in Australia, takes place but it's an American guy. It's called The Ghost Who Walks. Like that's his thing. And it's an entertaining movie. Is it good? No. But it's a very entertaining superhero movie because back then they were hokey. They were more cartoony. They were like Dick Tracy and all those kind of movies. Mm-hmm. And Dick Tracy's a good movie.
Like one of the Batmans with Michael Keaton.
I love
very hokey.
1989 Batman. Batman Returns I don't love. But the original 1989 Batman with Joker is my favorite superhero movie of all time. I love that movie. I mean, maybe because Michael Keaton's from Pittsburgh, but also that Batman movie, that Tim Burton Batman movie set the tone for pretty much every other superhero movie going forward.
Look at anybody that's going to like be hard on a comic book movie for being hokey. Go read the comic.
Yeah.
What do you like? What are you crazy? Yeah. I know Frank Miller's grounded some things in reality, but they're not all grounded.
Right,
in
and
reality.
I think that was the era, right, when it was like the first kind of X-Men came out, like they didn't know, like they were kind of playing in both camps. Like it's hokey, but they're starting to ground it in reality, and it's like they're juggling. And I think that's where it's like there was an identity crisis. Well, now it's like you look at the MCU or whatever, it's like they're really grounded in reality, right? And like that's been successful.
Deadpool,
and so like that's been successful. And I think it was just like we needed that to happen for us to get this.
You're 100% right.
You know,
now, here's my argument. Do you even know about the theory about Jar Jar Binks supposed to be the Sith?
No, because I kind of like, there are some Star Wars things that like go in my head, and then there's some that I just give. But go ahead. Give me the
So here's the thing. I'll play you the YouTube video after the episode so you can be convinced. Okay. Yeah. But the thing is that like George Lucas, people are like, he's an idiot. He made this buffoon-like child character for the kids named Jar Jar Binks who sounds stupid and he's whatever. But here's the thing. George Lucas, you're not giving him much credit. He made the movies you fell in love with.
Right.
He made C-3PO. He made Luke Skywalker. He made... So if he made that, maybe give him a little credit that he had some kind of goal in mind.
Yeah, remember when Darth Vader became Luke's father in the second one? Like
remember
everyone
that?
was like,
even
what?
Though David Prowse might have thought of that. But here's the thing. Yoda was a buffoon before you find out how important he is.
A psychopath in that movie.
Yeah, he goes... He's like banging on things and like hitting his, with the stick. So because George Lucas, as well documented, was obsessed with fable characters,
he was a drunk gremlin,
who were some people by the side of the road who seemed to be useless, whatevers, who in the end turned out to be very wise, and you would be wise to have heeded their information. So Jar Jar Binks originally is to look like a buffoon, but there's all these little Easter eggs of him doing Jedi jumps, him doing Drunken Master, kind of like killing on accident, killing hundreds and hundreds of those like little droids on accident.
Right.
How many great accidents are you going to have? You keep
It's like Inspector Gadget.
It's incredible. He's killing a bunch of them. He's doing Jedi jumps, which they never explain. Like, why is he's not a Jedi? How is he able to do Jedi jumps? He's able to do all these things. Anytime he's around droids, they don't trust him. The droids aren't able to be fooled by that kind of thing. So the droids all start going crazy every time he's in a scene. There's tons of things of the people that he's by. He's always really right next to a very evil character, like a right-hand person. But then when someone else comes around, he's like, bye, Misa, whatever. He seems like he's...
Do you think it was the voice that people hated, or do you think it was the look of Jar Jar Binks?
I think it was everything that they did, but it's because they jumped the gun. They judged it right away. Like, this is stupid, and thinking that it's a comic relief character, as opposed to maybe there's a reason. Because anytime Jar Jar is alone, he's not acting like that. No. Anytime he's in a scene with just one other character where it's important, he's very reserved. When he's in the council, he's very reserved. When he goes back to where the Gungans are from, where's that?
Where underwater?
Yeah, but whatever that area is called.
Gungaland?
Tungans? I don't know where it's at. Wherever that is.
You're asking the wrong dude.
He claimed that he was kicked out of that area for being like the village idiot or whatever. But when he comes back, everyone doesn't treat him like an idiot. They get out of his way like they're afraid of him. Like he's some sort of superior figure.
Sort of like Ser Jorah Mormont in Game of Thrones. You wouldn't get that, but you might get.
And so he's showing you these little hints of like, dude, he looks like a freaking buffoon, but he's wildly important to later in the story. But then I remember even hearing about how like people were throwing things through the screen and yelling at Jar Jar. There was a whole thing of like, why does he sound Jamaican? This is racist. Like there was all these things, and everyone jumped the gun on this character so fast that they didn't let it go. And then George was like, screw it, everyone hates this guy, let's just change the script. Not to mention Ahmed Best, who plays Jar Jar Binks, shot scenes that they never used of him and Emperor Palpatine walking away from like a fiery area, like all these scenes that they shot that like at the time they weren't sure what it was for.
So they just used him poorly instead of using him.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a Sith. So there was going to be a big reveal that, this guy who seemed like a friendly whatever was really working against. He was the mole. He was this. So it's also behooves him to be hateable,
right? Because
if he's hateable,
that's why I'm like that's my one like issue with this theory. Is like if they want to like once they do reveal that he's a bad guy, they would want the fans to dislike him. Right. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you're saying like, why would he change the story?
Yeah. If they already hated him, like that's the goal.
It's an easy
Unless
sell.
They're like, well, they already hate him, so it's not going to be much of a.
Well, they were hating him like on a social level, like, this is racially insensitive, and this is like fuckery. Because like the thing is, he's no more ridiculous than putting an Ewok in your film.
Truth.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
And everybody hated the Ewoks at first in Return of the Jedi, but then all of a sudden when the prequels came along, they're like, Ewoks aren't that bad.
It's like putting Snooki in WrestleMania. They're just like, there's this thing that other people like, and let's put them in the Star Wars thing. It wasn't that supposed to be Wookiees?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and instead they're like, make Ewoks, they're cute.
Right, it was supposed to be like a Wookiee planet.
Yeah, like Endor. It was supposed to be like, where Wookiees live.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. That's your good Star Wars range.
But I'm going to show you that clip.
Okay.
I'm going to show you the clip. I've
never seen this.
It's fantastic.
Okay.
So you do the movies. You're a big sports guy, which I love. Yeah. And I like that you love movies so much. Yeah. I also like that I feel like we're similar about that. Yeah. But I didn't find out till today that you, since you were 10, have wanted to be Alex Trebek.
Well, I don't know if you remember when we were doing the Josh Macuga show, I brought it up and I was like, it was a real brief thing. And I said, I've always wanted to be the next Alex Trebek. And you're like, why? You're cooler than Alex Trebek.
Way cooler.
It's a funny point on the show. Yeah.
Would you like to go get beers tonight with Alex Trebek or Josh Macuga? I'd be like, Josh, 100%. When can Josh get here?
I'll take it. I appreciate that. No, since I was, very, very early on in life. It was like the show that my mom and I would watch all the time. My dad, my mom, my grandma on my dad's side. I would go and stay with her in the summertime for a few weeks at a time, and we'd watch Jeopardy every night and like keep a scoreboard. And I always loved trivia. I always loved all that kind of stuff.
It felt like an interactive TV board game.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. We were never like a Wheel of Fortune family because I would get home from whatever sports practice at like 6:45, 6:50. Jeopardy comes on at 7, and then we'd have dinner at 7:30. So like the TV would go off at 7:30. And then, would come back on when the other cool shows would come back on. So we were never a Wheel of Fortune family, but from 7 to 7:30, that was Jeopardy time in our house, right? And like when I was in college.
How big was your family?
It was just me, my dad, a brother. So me and my brother, mom and dad. Yeah. And my brother didn't really like it as much as I did at all, really. Like he would come like Jeopardy, and he'd come and then come back down for dinner, right? So it was basically the three of us, or just the two of us, depending if my dad was home from work in time. And so it became this, like even in college, my mom would leave me voicemails like, "Do you get Final Jeopardy?" Or things like that, right? And my mom will text me about like certain people. She's like, "I don't like her," or whatever, all throughout.
I pray you get this job.
So I've been talking about this on air or on whatever show I'm on for the last like 8 years. That this has always been my dream job. Like next host of Jeopardy. So probably like 6-7 months ago, like in the summertime, he went on TMZ and they were like wrapping this season. He was like, I'm looking at trying to retire in 2020. And my Twitter exploded, right? And everybody was just like, you got to get this job. You got to get this. You've been talking about this forever, Yeah. So I start reaching out to every person that I know. I get a buddy to design a logo, like a hashtag Josh Macuga for Jeopardy.
Would you have to be all buttoned up like him? Like you can't be playful and fucking around with the...
No, I think that I can. I don't think that I can... Like, obviously, when you're asking the questions, it's very whatever, but there's some personality you can add to that show.
When you're talking to them, like, we got Linda here.
As long as you're getting the show in under 24 minutes, you're fine.
It's like an old TV producer told me, as long as you get the meat perfectly, throw in whatever potatoes and vegetables you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, have been able to host a bunch of things at Collider and wherever, Travel Channel, Josh Macuga Show, all the stuff I've been doing with Kind of Funny has been awesome. Anytime somebody's needed like a game show on certain things, they've called me to be like, hey, do something for it. WGN America has been really cool because I've been doing their movie night on that channel for a couple of years now. And so this has always been, like the goal, the dream job, right? Wow. Obviously, I will do any game show, any show. We're professionals. We just any kind of job. Yeah, you want to work. Any job that somebody throws at you and you think you are decently suited for it, or you can pull it off, you take it.
Absolutely.
Right? So, I got a buddy to design the logo, and then we shot like a full episode of Jeopardy. I wrote out all the questions, whatever. We shot it at Collider, and then we turned it into like a 5-minute sizzle reel for like my Jeopardy audition. It's up on YouTube now. And so I've gotten that to a bunch of people. And then when people, like every time I meet somebody or I meet somebody new or like a famous person who comes into Collider or whatever, I give them a button or I give them a sticker. And I'm just like, I'm campaigning to be next host of Jeopardy, whatever.
Have you reached out to see who the like producers, executives, all that kind of stuff?
Like I've met and talked to a ton of different people.
Oh, okay, good.
Right? So the basically like the climax of this story at a certain point was like 3 or 4 months ago, we went to a taping of Jeopardy.
Nice.
The wife and I, and my friend works at Sony, so she got us the front row tickets and we had the pins on, and one of the guys on the Clue crew is walking around and he's got a Steelers lanyard on. And I was like, dude, go Steelers. He goes, oh, you're from Pittsburgh? We start talking and he looks at my lapel and looks at the wife's lapel and he's like, what do you guys have there? And I go, oh yeah, I'm campaigning to be the next host of Jeopardy. He goes, that's awesome. So he walks back and he comes back with this girl and she's like, hey, Josh, I'm Amy. We've emailed before. She does a lot of the marketing for Jeopardy. Give me all your buttons. So I gave her, like 30 buttons. She gives them to all the writers, all the producers, amazing. Whatever at Jeopardy. And then Alex takes questions from the crowd because they shoot the show live to tape, Yeah. He usually takes questions from the crowd. And so he comes out and he says, I usually take questions from the crowd, but before I do that, I have to say, since we started shooting season 35, there hasn't been an episode that goes by that somebody hasn't asked me about my retirement. And there's actually a guy in the crowd that has made buttons because he really wants my job. Could that guy stand up? And my wife grabbed my leg and she was like, it's not happening. You. No, she's like, it's not you. There's somebody else here. I was like, babe, it's definitely me. Like that. So
you said it's never happened in 35 seasons.
Right. Yeah. So I stand up and he goes, where are you from? And I said, well, I'm from Pittsburgh, but I live here in Los Angeles. And he goes, do you have any broadcast experience? So I kind of just rattled off a quick resume. And he's like, oh, well, good luck to you. And the crowd was like, yeah, do it, man. It's great. And it was during the teen tournament.
You never hear someone go, oh, this guy wants my job.
Yeah, right.
Good luck to you.
Good luck
I mean, he's talking about retiring, but
right, yeah. And so bunch of like the parents, because it was during the teen tournament. So a bunch of the parents come up to like, hey, do you need more of those buttons? We want to tell people we met the next host. And I said, yeah, here's some buttons. I'm not going to tell them any different. And like in the meantime, you know, obviously like doing work and doing whatever, everyone I tell or everyone, I just hand them a sticker or a button and just kind of spread the word.
Dude.
And that's,
well, you know what's great about that? And mark my words, they'll call you like when that time comes and they'll say like whatever, and you'll be in a, you know, probably a 10 guy race for that kind of thing.
Sure.
But then when you get it, they'll be like, you know, it's the 36th season and, you know, you have zero experience on the Jeopardy. You're probably only looking at like 2.5 million a season. Do you know what I'm saying? It's going to be that kind of conversation where you're going to be like, hold on.
Let me talk to my agent. I'm going to have to get to a lawyer here real quick. And then,
I mean, whatever it's going to be, let's just make sure I get the position and then we'll decide on the, you know, but like, it's because when your show goes that long, like in those kind of things, those episodics turn out to like $100,000 an episode. And then like it really turns into like quite a deal.
And you know, listen, the money would be awesome. And I'm not going to sound like,
I know that, but I'm just saying like that, you're not even thinking of that little caveat of like life changing.
I just want to host that show.
Yeah.
So bad.
That'd be kind of cool too. I could picture you and your family getting teary-eyed and stuff about that. Like, oh my God, this is a huge part of our household.
Right.
And now our son is the host.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. It was, you know, I mean, I would want to maybe do like a couple cool little things. Like maybe on Fridays, I wear one of my crazy suits, right?
Sure.
Like that's one of the things. And then maybe I get like a band or somebody to play like a new version of the Final Jeopardy song once a week. Right,
That'd
just like
cool.
a little like
something
twist.
different, yeah.
And then I definitely think that there should be a Jeopardy podcast that I would host and like talk to those contestants that you get 50 seconds with, you know, 45 seconds, whatever.
Yeah. Talk to them like, what were you thinking? Were you nervous?
Yeah,
like,
what's going on here? Like, what's your history? Give me some more backstory on this.
How did you train for it? Yeah, those kind of things.
You know,
because people ask that all the time.
All the time.
There's no way they know all that stuff. Do they give them the subjects ahead of time?
Yeah.
Do they like? I've always like that's actually maybe a big reason why I don't watch it. One, I don't like smart stuff, but like two, I'm always like, it's got to be rigged, man. No one could know all those things.
Yeah. But they do.
They do. Yeah, people are just super smart.
It's, you know,
How can people help you that are listening? Is it just hashtag?
Hashtag Josh Macuga, the number 4 Jeopardy. And then, you know, there's all kinds of stuff. I have a TeePublic site where you can buy t-shirts and you can make t-shirts. If you ever see me, I will always have a button or a sticker on me.
Yeah, I love that. We have some now too, so we'll post it on Instagram and stuff.
I'll give you any more that you want. I'm going to be in Arizona this weekend. I'm at Pub Rock Live in Scottsdale with Mark Ellis and Ken Knapsack this weekend.
This weekend?
Yeah, so February 1st.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, birthday
Friday,
weekend,
February
dude.
1st, 8 and 10.
What's your birthday?
We're there. January 29th.
And my birthday is February 4th.
Nice.
We're both having this is the birthday episode.
Yeah. You're an Aquarius too, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I love
forever.
it.
If that even means anything, it's real.
I don't know what it means when people tell me I'm gay.
Perfect.
So anytime you see me, I will have a button on me. I bring them everywhere and give them to everybody. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for doing this, man.
Dude,
you're the greatest. We'd love to have you back.
Love to be back. Love doing this with you guys.
Tony, you got anything to plug, dude?
Yeah, you can go to youtube.com/screenpeekers for video game podcasts and fun video game videos we have there. And then I'm on Twitter and Instagram at I am Tony Reavis. And stay tuned there for whenever me and Jeff got our gaming news.
I am going to, that would be a big launch. I'm going to be in the Hard Rock Casino somewhere in Jersey for Howie Mandel's Comedy Club, Comedy Club Howie's. So check that out.
Oh, yeah.
Friendship.
How about that episode? Big thank you to Josh Macuga. We love you, dude. We hope that you are the host of Jeopardy. We hope that you eventually become the host. I think, what's the guy's name? Pat Sajak or Alex Trebek? I don't know his name. We hope when Alex Trebek retires that they pick you to be the host of Jeopardy. I would love to see that dream come true for you. Hashtag Josh Macuga Jeopardy. He looks good on there, doesn't he? He'd probably look better on a suit, hosting it, giving you a bunch of nerd questions. But listen, that's a tale for another time. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys said in the beginning, if you guys want to go to our Patreon, it's patreon.com/Jeff Dye. It's $10. You can watch the podcast, all the past podcasts. You can listen. You get gifts, treats, free tickets to my live comedy shows. Go to patreon.com/Jeff Dye right now. We love you.